Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chex. So, shout out to Ewan Conan for requesting this video. I'm gonna go ahead and do a breakdown of the new Ill trailer. I thought about doing it before, but I was really hesitant to because YouTube is pretty critical and harsh on smaller channels. So, please, if you could, hit the like and subscribe button to help me grow as a new content creator. Also, to support this video so that it gets out to more people. Also, just try to fight the algorithm a little bit so that the AI doesn't flag me too hard, at least. I am gonna try to kill about a minute just talking about still frames before I do anything that's like showing actual moving video of the game because there is a lot of gore in this trailer. Like that's why I was so hesitant to show this off before. So it looks like this is early gameplay where we are in a hospital of some sort. It looks like some time has passed. So these guys are both injured. This guy's injured. This guy looks straight up infected. When we get a better shot of him here, right about here actually, looking at his face, he looks like he is literally infected with the same thing. Hold on, let me try to find a shot. I searched really hard through this entire trailer for a single frame that wasn't like super gory or messed up, where it showed an infected dude, and man, like every shot is just like gore, gore, gore. So we're just gonna talk about this one for a second. So if you look at these guys, note you don't get a super great close-up shot or anything like that, but you can kind of see that like brown kind of your skin, like it literally is like these dudes are the undead. It's like they are dead, their skin is dead and like decaying. The blood is coagulified. That's why it looks more darker and it's like got that like stickier kind of look to it because it probably is. And then I know it's really hard in this shot, but if you look at his face, you know, he's got these same kind of blotches on their faces that our doctor has up here. You know, his skin is kind of, it's looking like he's falling apart. He's turning like pale looking ugly color, the same as they are. So I'm pretty sure this dude is infected and he's going to be one of the first people that like, as our allies, he's going to be the first one that we see like turn and become a monster. Going back to the first frame, this guy is clearly a doctor, or at least so we hope he is. We don't know what kind of doctor he is, whether he's somebody that's like a scientist that was doing testing on people, or if he's like an actual doctor. This does look like an actual hospital that they're inside of. It does look like it's kind of an older hospital from the look of things. You got like an old school wooden desk over here with an old school light. I could be totally wrong. I'm just looking at like this still frame here right now. We don't get a whole ton of like view of this room, but we do get this shot right here where we do see some kind of older looking equipment. This isn't super modern stuff. Like these are really old looking cot beds. This does look kind of experimental though. Like I'm not totally sure what this is, or like what this would be for, but this is a like light, I'm pretty sure. And then they've got the plastic tarp instead of like a just you know, privacy cover surrounding this bed. So this was clearly to like contain stuff going on here. And then they've got what looks like a lot of like surgical items. So, and then hopefully I've passed the minute mark at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and start playing this. But you can see this guy, there's a guy that's moving in the bed there. I know that was super loud. Forgive me, guys. I'm going to turn it down. All right, so now that I've kind of gotten past that first minute mark, hopefully we're going to go ahead and play the trailer and actually goes through some parts of this. So we get this really good shot. I actually should have probably started here. We get this great shot of like the full facility. I think what we are, if I remember right from the details, we're like an investigator that's going to this place for some reason. But these doctors here in a second say, so first of all, they say that like we got attacked clearly. We've got a lot of damage to us. They're patching us up more than likely, and I've got more to say on that in a second as well.
Out here? Are you drunk or something? Do him up and show.
So then we see this guy. I don't think this is our character. It's a possibility that it is, but I don't think so. If it is, and that kind of ties into my theory I was going to talk about a little bit more, that does kind of add to it. Our character may be possibly some kind of infected like superhuman. So like kind of how we see in the Resident Evil series. You can heal with Ethan. I hate that I'm referencing Resident Evil 7 Village for this, but so with Ethan, he's kind of a mold man essentially, so he can heal with these bottles that he pours on himself that's got this good chemical mixture for him and all that stuff. there may be something like that in this, where maybe we're like partially infected, so we're able to regenerate, because as we see with the infection stuff, it does some really crazy things to humans and more. We'll talk about that here in a second too. They show some really cool stuff
Throw
here.
him out, but he's still weak, so be careful.
What's going on?
This is the part that throws me off, though. So, because like if we go back to the beginning, I think this is us showing up at the facility. And showing up at the facility, we already see they've got like military helicopters coming in. It looks like there's already kind of a situation. That's why we're going there, right? It makes sense, right?
What's going on?
So this isn't like the initial thing happening. This is later. If let's see, did I miss him saying it here?
But he's still weak, so be careful. Do him up and show him out. But he's still weak, so be careful.
What's going on?
I don't know if I missed it or not. I don't remember. But they say you woke up from a coma, basically. And I think it's with those two characters. So there's something that happens between you, like, getting here to the facility and then those doctors meeting you. I think you, like, initially get attacked by something. And then those two doctors, possibly one being a scientist, go to test on you. And you're in a coma for, like, a few months as your body regenerates. And then when you finally wake up and you're actually a conscious human, that they're like, okay, cool. This is working out. Let's get out of here. And then this hospital, oh, forgive me, YouTube. I might just black out some of this stuff. I might just put like a black frame over some of this stuff that I think YouTube is going to hit me really harsh with. So if I black something out, forgive me. That's what I'm going to do for this this trailer, possibly. So we go through a morgue. It looks like we actually run around with these people for a little while, which is pretty cool. This guy is the one that gives you the gun, apparently. We saw in another trailer, I thought that you found the revolver, but this guy apparently gives you the revolver. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna have to censor that for sure. I do want to show off, there are, if I can really show it off. So I think I might just have to cut out everything that I just did right here. I'm just gonna go back to this scene right here. I'm just gonna go from here because it gets really violent here for the next like 10 seconds, and I think I just need to like blaze through it instead of stopping and talking about it so much. So we're running through a morgue here. We're running around through the hospital with the doctor and the other guy. But if you notice here in a second, the nurse that I was talking about being infected, he's not with us anymore. So I think something happens between then and this moment where that he dies. And then the doctor is actually the guy that gives us the revolver because he's running around with it, and he hands it to us here in a second. I also do want to point out really quick, we're not going to be able to stop to point it out, but there are multiple scenes where they blast through, even in the intro where they show off like multiple zombies, which I think is really cool. They don't hold back. This is going to be like a chaotic survival horror all the way through, and they nailed it so well. They're not holding back in any kind of way. They don't need to make it this like super slow and whatever. I feel like Capcom has kind of forgotten how to make zombie body horror that's like sci-fi grounded in reality like this. Because even if your character is a little bit, weird, I feel like they're doing it a lot better in this than they did with like 7 and Village for Resident Evil. This feels like it's going to still be a lot more sci-fi horror rather than sci-fi fantasy, and it's nailing it, dude. Like, just watch. Definitely going to have to black out part of that. This is kind of like Resident Evil 2.
You're tough. Surprisingly lively for someone who just came out of a coma.
Oh, that's where he says it. Okay, so that's where he says you just came out of a coma. And then, yeah, as you notice, that we're just alone with the doctor. I don't know what's going on here. We don't see the doctor again for a while. I don't think for the rest of this trailer we see him. So he probably also bites the dust at some point. And then what I also really love here is that they did the naked zombies like OG Resident Evil. And as we'll see here in a second, thankfully they blur it. I don't have to. They are truly naked zombies. Like they are buck ass naked, showing it all, like no holding back, like noodle doodle swanging in the air.
You gotta hustle.
I like the outfit for the main character. It's pretty sick. The monster choices and designs are also so good. So here we get this sewer monster that it looks like is going to be stalking through the sewer. He's probably pretty tough. There might be multiple of these. I don't know. This one's pretty big. I really like the design of it. It really gives this like intense, towering beast that like it feels like it could really come at you like a spider through these sewers. Like it gives that really creepy feeling. It looks like he doesn't have eyes. It's really hard to see. They're either really small or he just like doesn't have eyes. Like it's just kind of like the skin has just kind of folded over or whatever. But it looks like he's got like a really big mouth, really big teeth, and big ears. So it might be kind of like a licker mixed with a hunter where it can't see you, but it can hear you really well, and it's really big.
You fell from the moon.
I will help you, but you must.
This is the first time they've shown her off.
Go there.
And then I also, YouTube's totally gonna hate me for this, but I have to show this scene off because it shows, this is, I feel like, really important. The zombie is painting a mural in blood. I don't know what it is, but it's got some kind of like a void-like face. I think this is kind of showing that maybe there's some kind of a hive mind thing going on here with all of them. Maybe they're like kind of like bees, basically. But I'm not totally sure. I could be totally wrong on that and reading way too much into it because that would possibly lead this into like the fantasy kind of stuff. But I don't know. There's something weird going on here. There's some kind of weird intelligence going on here. And then I have no idea who this girl is, but she's talking about not going to what I assume to be this place, to which we have no idea the relevance of. We can also see that they've kind of painted in some blood over this too, some kind of spirally thing. Not like the spiral anime, but something weird going on here. I feel like there may be some kind of occult stuff going on here. This takes me back to like if you ever played at Castle Wolfen or Return to Castle Wolfenstein, where you go down into the crypt area and then all of a sudden the undead pop up and everything gets really scary for a little while and there's like weird monsters and stuff. This kind of reminds me of some of that stuff. Like you've got some of the similar like architecture. It's got like a retro-ish vibe. Also, something I think is really cool. We get to see it for just a couple seconds here. There's a scorpion. So guns they've shown off are the revolver. They also showed off, I didn't say anything about it, but they showed off a Makarov somewhere in here when you're like, you get to the top of stairs. And then we've also seen an AK in other trailers. So it looks like there's actually a large selection of guns that you're going to be able to find in this game. We have not seen them all yet, I don't think. I am like pretty confident on that. They're only showing a few of the guns so that we can get more impressed by some other stuff later. I bet there's going to be some really exciting guns and things that we get to mess with. This game looks like it really is. This is something else. This is going to be the new Resident Evil for me, quite frankly.
I will help you, but you must not go there.
I'll take my chances. Turns out I'm a lucky man.
That monster's really cool, but he's also got kind of a weird design. I'm not going to go back and look at it, but if you go back and look at him in another trailer, his head is like just held on by rebar and then probably some like nerves and things connecting his like brain and body to the rest of, everything, which I think is really scary and cool. And then we've also got this giant monster here that's a giant mouth. This looks horrifying. I think we've kind of seen this guy in the distance in another trailer, but this looks like it's going to be really, really scary and really good. I'm really looking forward to this boss fight. I hope it's an actual like full boss fight that we actually get to play through and it's not just like a cinematic thing that we like run through so that it's still fun on repeat playthroughs, because this looks really, really cool. I don't know if it's going to be dynamic to where like he can just bust into any building and destroy it, because there's possibly going to be a lot of buildings that are like important. But if I was right, like I said in my, I think I said it in my first trailer breakdown, this could be an open world game. And if it is, it would be very cool and make it a lot scarier if this actually had a lot of like destructible environments. And then this guy is just like walking around and he could just collapse into any building that you're in at any time. I think that would make things like a lot scarier. But then that could also like destroy key items and things. So I don't know. It is, that would be really hard to actually like put into gameplay. I'm just kind of stretching and dreaming here.
You'll find nothing there.
This is what I was kind of alluding to a little bit ago, about them like being able to regenerate and stuff. So this is kind of like Aliens, where you know how they make the weird stuff, the mucousy walls, where it's all like their environment and then it changes everything. This, we've seen it on other trailers too. They do this a lot. And here's like a straight up example of like, this was a dude that's now just like the wall. Like he is the wall. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this. And I think this kind of ties into my theory as well about like you maybe being the guy that's on that cot. And that's you for like months as they basically like infected you and regenerated your body over time. I could be putting like making a really big stretch here, but I don't know. There's the naked guy. I'm not gonna go back to it, but
The death.
that reminds me of The Thing, where the head comes off and it's got the tentacles. There's a lot of The Thing in this game, which drives me crazy, like, and in a good way. Like, it looks so cool, which tells me, like, this has the chance to be the best horror game and the scariest horror game that we've gotten like this in a long time. I hope Capcom honestly takes a lot of notes from this game. They've been slacking and lacking on a lot of the games lately. I'm happy that they're pumping out games. I don't know if I've put the other video out yet for the Resident Evil 1 remake stuff, or if I'm making 2 different videos where I'm talking about that stuff, but I think that they've maybe rushed their games too much. They didn't put enough thought into the remake or reimagine series that they're doing. But yeah, I'll talk about that more in another video. This is just fantastic, and this is their starting point. So this is the creation of Ill's game Bible, basically. Like everything from here is, this is their baseline. This is where everything needs to stem from with this series. They need to remember everything they do here. They need to keep if they make an Ill 2 and they make this a series, they need to keep everything in line with the first game. I don't want to see this go way off brand. I don't want to see Ill all of a sudden have freaking vampires and werewolves in 7 games, okay? Or like 30 games, because there was actually a lot of Resident Evils that a lot of people just like don't actually know about or acknowledge at all. But there was like a ton of games where it was just strictly zombies and monsters and sci-fi, like horror stuff. No fantasy, weird stuff. Code Veronica is where that can. I'm ranting about Resident Evil already. All right, come on, let's go. See how it like grabbed his arm there?
Good luck. Keep quiet in there.
That's basically the end of this video. I am so excited about this. So I guess this is maybe the last time that we see the doctor. But I don't know where we go from here. I don't remember if it actually shows us walking through like a red room in the other trailer. I don't feel like going back to watch it right now. Sorry. But on the bright side, we get close to a release date. At least we know it's going to be releasing in 2027. Not super far away. We don't know a month, unfortunately. That would actually, be a huge difference for us. But at least we know it's going to release next year. That's very, very exciting. They probably don't want to compete with like Code Veronica and some other stuff. So they're probably trying to figure out when they want to release it, as well as like finishing up some polishing. But other than that, it looks like this game is done. It looks like this is completely done cooking in the oven, and they could almost release it at any time. I would be happy to play the whole game right here, right now. I would be so happy to. It looks so good just from what they've already shown. I feel like they've shown a lot. They've only shown a little bit, but I feel like they've shown a lot with what they've shown. I still don't even really know what the story's about. I don't even know what the mystery is about. I don't know where you really start, where the end is. Like, they've also done a really good job at making these trailers. They have not ruined the like mystery, the story for me. I am going in like 100% blind still, pretty much, despite watching everything that they've put out for the game. Obviously, I know like spooky monsters, ookie bookie, blah blah blah. But other than that, I have no idea like who the main character is, who these other people are, really where we are, what we're doing. Like, there's a lot to kind of explore here, which is really exciting for a new game like this. And maybe I've forgotten stuff from some of the other trailers because it's been a while. We don't get a whole lot of information about this game very often, but that kind of makes it more exciting because I've forgotten that stuff. So when this does finally come out, and I think that may be like something they're purposefully doing, but it does help kind of build the hype for this, because then when we do get something, kind of like with GTA, we get the little breadcrumbs here and there. Every time you get something, it's very exciting. And this trailer, oh my gosh, it was just, you hit the ground running right from the beginning, and it's just go for like 2 whole minutes straight. Yeah, that's all for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. There are more videos to come. I'm going to be talking about like Tomb Raider, Resident Evil more, and some other games that I'm very excited about that I saw trailers of at the recent like state of play, whatever the hell it's called, event. We don't do E3 anymore, so I don't know what to call it anymore. They have like 12 of them a year. It's hard to keep up with now. If you've made it to the end of this video, I really, really appreciate it. Again, if you could hit like and subscribe to support me, that would also mean a lot to me. Stick around for more. See you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.